good afternoon, and welcome to a Cambrian College Presents presentation of Andrew Laviolette live in studio. I'm your host, Matt Moskal, and with me is my co-host, Dave Eckert.
Hi.
And with us is the lovely Mr. Andrew Laviolette, who's just recently released his first album, This Far From Home. And to start off, Andrew, I have to ask, when we came to pick you up for this broadcast, you were busking on Durham Street. So what's the deal? Is that something you do regularly?
Yeah. I try and get downtown a couple of times a week and open up the guitar case and share the music. It's an easy way to access listeners rather than play in a room, and you can make enough money to buy yourself a coffee or two at the end. I very much enjoy the Durham Street busking experience.
So it's sort of an appeal thing? It appeals to you necessarily more than certain other settings?
Oh yeah, I mean it's nice to play in an everyday setting where the everyday folk are passing by and have the opportunity to hear music from someone they never otherwise would. And it's nice to be outside and play. It's nice to watch the people of the city do their things and be able to share the tunes with them.
Is it at all an odd statement about the music industry at this point in time that you have to be out on the street, playing music for people rather than, playing shows indoors to make money?
I'm not, to be entirely honest, I'm not too familiar with the music industry and what it is. Busking for me is a choice. I do it because I enjoy it. I get the odd opportunity here and there to play for an audience in a venue for a little bit of money, but to be outside on the street playing, I don't think it's a reflection of my experiences with the industry. I do it because I really do enjoy playing on the street for the good folks.
I remember we have this one photo of you, and it appears like you're standing right in the middle of Durham Street. Can you tell us a little bit about that and that day?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the first weekends I was able to go downtown, and it was warm enough to play. And my friend Kayla came along with a camera. It worked out timing-wise because I've got a new CD out and building up promotional opportunities with pictures. So Kayla had her camera, and I was able to sneak out between cars into the middle of the road and get a couple of shots of singing in the middle of the road.
So it's kind of like a road hockey game.
Car, musician, game on.
All right. So speaking of performing in the streets and the particular styles and sound of music you might hear downtown Sudbury, what kind of artists have influenced you in the past?
I mean, there's been a number of influences for a number of different reasons. I'm a big fan of songcraft, of lyrical storytelling. That style of writing, or that style of songwriting, kind of grabbed me from the beginning when I became aware of what music was to me. Artists like Townes Van Zandt is one guy that I have had influence me for a very long time now. I enjoy early Bob Dylan. Modern artists these days. I listen to a lot of My Morning Jacket. That's a big influence on me musically, though, not songcraft wise. The rock shows and the big sound that band creates mesmerizes me. So I mean, influences from all over the place, really, and that's my answer for that.
So a lot of performers who it's basically a very simple setup, maybe themselves, like with a guitar and their voice and maybe slide or just minor accompaniment, but otherwise it's like very simple setups. And have you brought that into your own stage shows? Yeah,
I'm my shows are quite simple. I do have one effects pedal that I tend to use to fill in the spaces between tunings and whatnot, and will loop musical musical experiences. But for the most part, I do try to keep it simple. Guitar, voice, and harmonica at the most. Sometimes the slide. Depends how I'm feeling, yeah.
Mm. And a lot of those artists you spoke of, a lot of them, that's a lot of songs about heartache, or a lot of songs about living, traveling between bars and things like that. What kind of personal experiences can you relate with those songwriters?
Well, I mean, I'm relatively young, and I've taken the effort to experience as much as I can. But I mean, you look at guys like Towns, and I can't relate to him on any personal level, I don't think, except for the fact that what he talks about is his articulation of words, of experiences, is something that resonates with me simply because it's very, very, very powerful. It creates huge pictures, huge colors to me, and I haven't really run around from bar to bar, from town to town in the back of trains, as much as I see that as a very romantic way of living. I certainly couldn't write a song about that style of life, but maybe one day.
What will we be hearing from you today?
Sorry?
What will we be hearing from you today?
I'll play a couple of songs off my new album. This here is my first personal recording. It's an album that we finished. It's probably been out now for a couple of weeks anyways. I recorded down at Innovative Guitar Ideas, downtown Sudbury, Ontario. Jesse Lagasse helped me out with the sound. And I'll play a couple of songs off this new project of mine.
Okay. So we'll get to talking a little bit more about the album after a song from Andrew. Maybe you can tell us what you plan on playing now, if there's a bit of a story behind it.
Yeah, sure, man. I'm gonna play, the first one I'm gonna play is, I believe it's track number 4 off the album. It's Take My Eyes. A lot of the times, the songs, for me anyways, in my songwriting experiences, the songs kind of present themselves before the meaning is understood on my end, and that's the case for this one. I've after reflecting on it, the finished piece, I feel like it's my attempt to articulate the actions of becoming selfless.